So, hello and welcome. Um, I think this might be my first one. I'm not sure actually for January, first public one anyway. So, what I love to do, I love the beginning of the year because it's an opportunity to kind of look at what are the patterns in the big collective, and especially the outer planets. What are the outer planets up to? What is Chiron up to? I'm going to be doing a class on Chiron and Hygeia in a couple of weeks, who are the two main healing planets traveling together at the moment. Um, yeah, so this one today, I'm going to focus on the activations of Gene Key 25, which is right at the beginning of the sign of Aries. And so that's obviously a really important part of the zodiac because it marks a completely new cycle of the zodiac. And there's quite a lot of activations of Gene Key 25, including Neptune. So a lot of how I'm shaping my ideas and what I want to offer in this first quarter of the year is ways of working with the heart, healing the heart, and taking this amazing opportunity to move from the shadow of constriction to the gift of acceptance and the city of universal love. I think we need some of that in the world at the moment. So, okay, so I'm going to jump into screen sharing my presentation, and and then we'll have a conversation afterwards for those who are here live. Okay, so activations of Gene Key 25, Universal Love. So I'm seeing this really, this next year ahead, as an opportunity to heal the heart and find a deeper place of love in ourselves. And just gone to present, so it opens up a bit more. And this feels really important to me in a world where there's so many divisions. Donald Trump's being inaugurated today, and whichever side you happen to be on in that particular drama in the world, it's causing huge divisions. In the United States, we've been through similar things in the UK with Brexit and different controversial prime ministers, or near prime ministers. And so these leave the country really divided, where, you know, there's almost like a 50-50 on each side. And I know for a fact that these political issues can cause division in families, you know, different ideas about whether there is an environmental crisis. I feel there is, but many people don't feel there is, and that's another cause of conflict in the world. So rather than trying to win the argument, I'm right, this is my point of view, how I kind of came to work with these things really myself, because of the deep divisions in my own family, was to think about the healing of the heart that needs to happen in order for people to stay together. And even if other people don't respect my ideas and opinions, I can take a kind of a neutral stance on theirs without getting pulled into conflict with them. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Oh, let me just go back because I keep meaning to mention. So I love using Addison Adams art. This is like a deep sea diver going into a heart. So that's my kind of image for that I want to work with around this energy that we're in. Okay, so let's talk about human design, the vessel of love, of which Gene Key 25 is one of the codons in the I Ching. So this is called the synthesis index. And if you're into astrology and the gene keys, it's a really fantastic document that allows you to see which gene key is exactly at which part of the zodiac. So let us go to 25 is over here on the left, and opposite it is 46 over there. And then we have the 10. And if I shut that a bit, I have to move my own things out the way, the 10 and the 15 at the bottom there. So the vessel of love is really important because this is when the sun moves into the cardinal signs. So we know these as the equinoxes and the solstices at that time of year. So winter solstice, sun moves into Gene Key 10. Spring equinox, it moves into the 25 there. At the summer solstice, it'll move into the 15. And then at autumn equinox, it moves into the 46. So this is the human design wheel. And these are also the I Ching, and they're also the gene keys. Okay, if you've not come across that before, that's a bit of an explanation. Right. Oh, great. Now my thing decides to freeze. I'm having one of those days really on the technical front. Right, let me try and reshare it and then see if it changes. Okay. I do so like using visuals. It's very annoying when they don't work. But I shall keep on talking anyway. Thankfully, I've got quite a good memory and I didn't create this too long ago. So I'm going to try exit the page and see if that works. Stop sharing. Okay, so I'm just going to share about what the activations are, and then if it pops up again, we'll have a look at can actually look at the charts. Okay, so the first thing I've already mentioned is that the sun will enter into Gene Key 25 on round about the 20th of March at the in the northern hemisphere, the spring equinox. And everything I'm talking about is an activation of Gene Key 25, but if we keep in mind that larger vessel of life that is being activated. So the other thing that is happening is that we have a new Venus star point coming. We actually have a final Venus moon gate, which is falling on Imbolc, and it's the final gate falling on the 1st of February on Imbolc. So that feels really special, the festival of Bridget, the rebirth of the light. The snowdrop is the flower for that time of year, the first flowers that appear if you live in a snowy place, anyway, a really cold place. Here in Cornwall, there's flowers like all the time. Okay, so that's on the 1st of February. We have Venus and the Moon have their conjunction as portal gate in the 25. And then Venus is going to start moving retrograde for 40 days on the 3rd of March. He does a 40-day retrograde. And during that retrograde, there will be the Venus-Sun inferior conjunction, which Venus is in front of the Sun rather as opposed to behind. Um, and this is also in Gene Key 25. So this Venus star point will kind of carry us for a whole 9-month period. So we are essentially going to be gestating this universal love for, we've got a 9-month period, which is a really significant period to do any kind of healing work, because that is our own human gestation cycle, which Venus echoes. So it's very exciting. Okay, I'm going to try again. I'm having a bit of freezing problems here. Hang on a sec. I'm just going to open my thing again. Okay, I'm going to shut down that. And let's try again with this. Okay, just helps me. I can't remember the dates. My memory isn't that good. So if I could get this open, I can give you the dates as well. Okay, yes, I've got it. Okay, so this is the chart of today. You can see that the sun is going into Aquarius today. It's the 20th of January. And so the sun is conjunct Pluto there. I've talked a little bit about Chiron and Hygeia in Aries. I'm going to be doing them soon. This first part of the year, we've actually got Venus conjunct Saturn. So that's quite a difficult energy, because Venus is exuberant and expressive normally, and Saturn is in a way a constriction, or we really have actually that shadow of constriction through the Saturn-Venus conjunction. So whether we normally feel constricted or not, we should really pay attention to what situations bring about that constriction of the heart. What kind of people? Maybe it's at work, maybe it's in your relationship, maybe it's with your children or your parents. And then you can really focus on who you want to heal your heart around. It doesn't mean you have to do it directly. You can do the healing on your heart and wait to see how if the universe manifests something different with people. Okay, so yes, so I've told you already, the Venus retrograde begins on the 3rd of March. Okay, so right, I'll just go back because I didn't know if I put the nodes down. So the North node at the moment is actually in Gene Key 25 there at 0 degrees of Aries. And the South node is in the 46 Gene Key there in Libra. So what this energy is about in the South node is Libra relationships, and we're being pulled towards who are we? What is our identity? What is our bigger identity in the world? Like, can we rise into this new being of it's a quite an impersonal kind of love, universal love. It's a little bit more detached than, say, passionate love. Um, but yeah, so the nodes are actually there right now. So this is the Venus star point here. We can see at 2 degrees of Aries. So that's still in Gene Key 25. I'm not going to say too much on that. I'll do something on it closer to the time that it actually happens. But that's also in Gene Key 25, as I say. And that will be the background. It's the blueprint that the sun and Venus exchange this blueprint, and it's the blueprint that Venus gives us as the Earth. Okay, so this is the big event on the 2nd of April. Neptune enters Gene Key 25. So this is a huge activation of this Gene Key 25. Neptune is a higher octave of Venus. So it's a very, it can potentially be a very spiritual sign, art, beauty, creativity. It can also be kind of fantasy as well, interestingly, because we've got Pluto going into the 41st Gene Key, which is the shadow of fantasy. So, so between Neptune actually and Pluto, we could have some quite fantastical kind of ideas or confrontations with fantasy. But there may be also a healing of our imagination and fantasy in a good way, like using our imagination in story and that kind of thing. So it doesn't have to be negative by any means. Okay, so with the Neptune turns retrograde, and then it's going to leave Gene Key 25 on the 25th of December. That should say 2025. So Christmas Day next year, this year, long time ahead, but Christmas Day this year, Neptune leaves the 25 backwards and then comes back in on the 26th of February 2026. So you can see this is a very long-term activation, a very deep activation of the 25. I couldn't help but screenshot this day as I was going through the days, because this is pretty awesome. The Mercury retrograde begins. This is the 6th of April. And you have this incredible lineup here. So Neptune's in the 25. And then we have North Node, Venus, Saturn, almost in exact conjunction. They're in Gene Key 36, which leads from turbulence to diplomacy to compassion. So this is quite an intense emotional Gene Key 36. And I almost feel it like the 36 is like, it's called the darkening of the light. And then we pop like into the universal love, into acceptance and universal love. It's almost like everything has to intensify to get us to the state of being able to transform, transmute the dense energies. Okay, so just to let you know what's coming up, on Monday, the 3rd of February, I'm doing the first of 2 free events online called Grail Quest with Matthew Ashdown, who's Gene Key's guide as well. And we're both really into these Celtic and European mysteries. So this will be an opportunity to come along free, and then there's one the following Monday that's free as well. They'll both be straight after this call at 5 p.m. Monday, the 10th of February on Soul Tribe, I'm beginning the 40-day, I'm calling it the Heart Sutra meditation, and it's really working with all these energies I've just talked about. So if you want to have a practice to open your universal love, then come along. You have to subscribe to Soul Tribe for a couple of months while that is going on. And Thursday, the 20th, I'm doing online workshop called Embodying Asteroid Lilith in Gene Keys and Human Design with Bella Crystal from Unlock Your Design. So that's going to be pretty cool. That's one will cost $22. And I haven't quite got there yet, but the information will be on my website, alisonduana.com, or you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram for details on that. Okay, so I'm going to come out of sharing and I'm going to pause the recording, and then we'll have a chat about whether you have anything at this part of the zodiac, how you feel about this move from constriction to acceptance to universal love. Maybe think about what is it that you're finding really hard to accept. I know there's quite a lot for me right now. More in the bigger world, I feel like in my personal life, pretty much everything is okay. But yeah, in the big world, it's like, wow, how do we accept the way that things are when they feel so kind of dangerous? And so interested to hear your views. I'm just going to stop this recording first.